Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's Model Rockets 321. Today we're going to talk about making modifications to rockets and should you do it. I say yes if you know what you're doing, but also understand that when you make a modification to a rocket, you void the warranty, if you care. Just like if you do something, you change it up, you can't go back to them and say, hey, this rocket didn't work. You made a modification. Well, recently I made a modification that I'm pretty happy with, even though it had some damage. I'm happy overall. I modified the Estes Red Nova, which is this rocket right here. It was a one-stage rocket or a single-stage rocket. I modified it to stage on 24mm motors. It actually flies on 18mm. No, it flies on 24s, but I modified it to fly on two 24mm. So I was staged from a D12-0 to an E12-0 to a upper stage D12-7 or an E. So it can fly a wide range of motors, or some big ones. The SDs, the longer version motors, they're like this size right here. So it flew great. If you saw the last launch video, this rocket took off. It flew great. However, I'm considering rebuilding this, and I'm going to modify it to kick the motor out because it's just falling too fast and it hit the ground. Kevin left a comment on the launch video of this rocket when the booster hit too hard. You can see it crushed it and it rammed that forward. I couldn't figure out why it just went forward, but it makes sense now that it hit nose first and that engine, the force. I always underestimate how fast this stuff is traveling and the force. So it just kept traveling forward and it kind of rammed the engine forward as it crushed nose first. But kicking the engine out, I had that idea when I was driving home. It came to my mind like some kind of way I got to make this lighter, but kicking the engine out, and Kevin had mentioned in the comments, so thought probably hit around the same time. So that's what I'm going to do, try to modify this to kick the engine. So this will do more of a tumble and flutter as it hits the ground. So this is a total rocket modification. I don't do a whole lot of mods. Most of my rockets I buy, I leave them as they are. I may do some detailing, but you got to keep in mind that all adds weight. But overall, I typically leave things as they are, except for this project. I really wanted to do it with this one and a couple other ones I modified. If you know my SR-71 Blackbird Project X that is in the latest Sport Rocketry magazine along with myself, this is a project I did. I took a standard Estes SR-71 Blackbird and I modified it to fly on two C engines. A lot of trial and error. Is just traveling way too fast for any kind of recovery, especially since it rear ejected the parachute. So you can see that cone there. I had it designed so the parachute was in this compartment. Gases traveled up and across, and it would push the parachute out the back. I had a piston system that kept the gases away, but it was just burning. It was not burning. It was just ripping off everything I could do, and it would nosedive. It would give a little glide, then it would nosedive. But eventually, I did get it to work to success. You can read that article in the latest issue of Sport Rocketry. Here is that Blackbird right here. Now I'm retired. I went on and retired her. These all what you see. This skin is all just the rebuilds. This is the rebuild stuff. She's retired. Got some little rips here, but she's retired. A lot of fun doing it. It took several years. I worked on it and took breaks and worked on it. So that was another example of modification, just a project I wanted to do outside of the Red Nova. The Red Nova came many years later. The next mod that I did, let me move this. The next modification was my Saturn V, the mighty Saturn V, which is right here. Can't even see the whole thing. It's so big. It's 43 inches tall. The modification I did was I was doing the build and I purchased some fins from Boyce Aerospace. They're great. They're 3D printed, but they added weight to the end of the rocket. So there's 4 of these. I had them added. I flew it, and it kind of went side. It did, and it wasn't enough. Then it curved back, and it landed on its tail. You can find that flight on this channel. Go check the archives. Go back a little bit, or put in Saturn V launch, and you'll see what was taking place. It didn't damage it bad, but I just knew I had to remove these, and I went and I put the stock ones back on, as you see here. These stock fins just got to be painted. They're all on. I'm going to fly this again because I have to get a successful flight of my Saturn V. It's just just hanging out for right now. But another example of a modification. I believe it can work, but I have to add nose weight up front because you want weight up top. You want to push the weight. You don't want weight around the tail of the rocket. So I just forgot when I did it. It felt good. I didn't really find my center of gravity, which some people frown on that. I didn't. I thought it would work. It felt good. You can't go by feeling sometimes, but I launched it. I was like, hey, I'm willing to see what it does. So I learned my lesson. It landed, but it didn't damage it a whole lot, which I was thankful for. So it was easy to fix. So it had some couple little dings here and there, but like I said, guys, I fly these rockets. You can't take them with you. Enjoy life, build the rocket, man, build them. I'm going to build a true classic here, one that many people, if they had it in the package, they wouldn't open it. But I'm going to open it, I'm going to build it, I'm going to fly it. I'll reveal that rocket at a later date. You'll see that a little bit later. But anyway, that's the story on the Saturn V modification. One mod that I do recommend, or it's up to you, but I'm standing by this. I just built the So Long. From many of my new kits that I'm getting, I am doing the Kevlar. I'm replacing this rubber shot cord that they're giving, and I'm using this Kevlar rope. This stuff is good, flame retardant, flame resistant. I'm putting this in pretty much all my rockets. My So Long is done. Just got to do the paint, and I used this right here, Kevlar. I didn't even put the rubber in there. As you can see, this is all this kit. The rocket's built. The rocket's already built, but I'm no longer using the rubber shot cord. That rubber shot cord, that same type piece in the Red Max, it actually snapped. It actually cracked it loose and broke it. And it was new. I've seen older ones get dry rotted, that rubber just too much moisture or whatever. I mean, too much dryness, and they just dry rot. Then from ejection gases, I believe that ruins them over time. So I'm going to be getting rid of all the rubber shot cords, and I'm going with this Kevlar. Even some that's bigger. For the bigger rockets, I'll go with a thicker piece. But this right here is good for most of the models. And it's tough. I mean, this stuff is nails. It's tough. So that's my word on modifications. Is there anything else I wanted to add? Like I said, you void the warranty, but if you want to experiment around and enjoy, have fun doing it. Just be safe with it. You know, do it away from people, because you never know what your modification is going to cause a rocket to do. So just play it safe. And one book, Handbook of Model Rocketry, get this, guys. If you're doing modifications, this covers a lot of the basics, what you need to know about rocketry, and some of the more advanced stuff. I mean, it covers everything from finding center of gravity, launching it in breezy conditions, just how to fold pair. It's just tons of knowledge in this book that you can use if you are doing modifications, or just knowledge if you're getting into the hobby, or even if you've been into the hobby. You have to have this book. I have a link below where you can just go grab one. I recommend getting it. I mean, if you're in rocketry, if you're getting, like I said, getting into it, or anything aerospace, the 7th edition is what's out right now. There's some older ones. It's just a great book. If you can find an older one, get an older one, but they keep adding information. So the latest one is kind of like the one to have. All kinds of techniques. How to, look at this, how to glue fins on straight using this method right here. Just so many. It's a fin jig, just so many, how to paint rockets. Everything's in this book, guys. So that's that book. You guys can grab that. But just going to wrap this video up right here. Making modifications, have fun. Drop a comment, thumb up the video, support the channel any way you can. If you like the content, you think it brings value, helpful, support the channel any way you can. Check the links, use the Estes discount code if nothing else. Shout out to Estes for all their support to me. I appreciate them. It's Model Rocks 321. Gonna bring you some more videos, man. Some more launches coming. I love getting out there flying, man. It's just so much fun. Something with this 2,000 feet mark. Shout out to Kevin. He's chasing the 2,000. He may have hit it recently. I missed one of his latest launch video, but that getting that 2,000 feet with a model rocket. There are rockets that'll do it. I have, everybody know the Pipsqueak. The Pipsqueak will hit that 2,000 feet with a C engine, I believe. There's a few of them out there. The Zinger, an old Estes one, that's another 2,000 feet flyer. But this right here, Kevin, if you're listening, this combination, E12-0 to an E12-8, it will hit 2,000, because I hit 1,700 with a D12-7 and an E12-0. The E12-0 is stuck in here right now, but this combination went to 17, so I know E to another E will do it. But this got damaged, and I got to take some time to fix that. So I guess we're chasing 2,000. That's a fun thing to do. So shout out to Kevin. So I will see you guys in a little bit. It's Model Rocks 321. Subscribe to the channel. And I am out. Check these two videos out right here. All concerning this type of stuff right here. Model Rocks 321.